Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach's Corner. I know you missed us very much. We had, like a 2 week break there, but we're back at it. And guess what? We're talking about. We're continuing with the universal laws, the 12 universal uh, main laws, and we're going deep in different type of laws: law of attraction, vibration, and I had a few others from our last episode. And guess what? These laws were still operating even though you didn't see us here on last couple of Sundays. So my name is Jamel Matias. I'm a certified mindset success coach / business consultant, founder of Believe in the Unseen. It's all about believing in that goal, believing in whatever it is that you desire, that it's there and you're able to achieve it. And also I help but um, hardworking but unfulfilled professionals, who know they're capable of more, yet feel stuck in a cycle of effort without progress, basically lacking clarity, direction, and the subconscious programming needed to create the income or freedom and life they truly desire. So, I'm excited to tap in with this with my amazing colleagues, and I'll pass it on to Paul.
Thank you, Jamel, and thank you, Lou. And good morning or good afternoon, wherever you're watching this from. My name is Paul Wooters. I'm in Burlington, Ontario. I'm a success mindset coach and mentor. I'm also the director of the Leadership and Development Department at the World Life Education Center. And hey, how did that all happen? Well, it happened by following the principles and the laws that we talk about here every Sunday and applying them, not just reading about them, learning about them, but through mentorship and guidance and through the application of these laws, I'm able to create and design the life that I want. And now I help individuals from all walks of life, students, adults, entrepreneurs, business people, athletes, help them transform their lives, take control and create and design their life with intention, because transformation doesn't happen by accident. And as I like to say, I help people live to their greatest possibilities. I'm going to pass this over to my good friend and colleague, Lou.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Jamel. Good morning or good afternoon or good evening, everyone, depending on where you're joining us from. And if you're catching the replay, we're happy that you could watch that. So my name is Lou Perica, and I am a speaker and success mindset mentor. And I help growth-minded women and professionals really understand their internal patterns, their thoughts, their feelings, and their identity that are quietly shaping their current results. So I just wanted to say that I'm very excited about that we're going to be discussing the universal laws. And last week we talked about, or a couple of weeks ago, the law of divine oneness, how everything is connected. And this week we're going to be addressing the law of vibration and the law of attraction. Because whether you believe in the laws or not, we are all operating within them. So this is why we felt it was so important to bring this to Coach's Corner. What happens also when you start to understand the laws, now we don't think about them all day long, but it's just like the law of gravity. You just know it's operating, whether you think about it or not, but you know it's operating. So when you understand the laws, they help remove the ideas that life is happening to us. And we start to understand that they're just really patterns at play, but they're predictable patterns. And once you understand, and once again, you can work with the laws instead of fighting them. And that to me is very empowering. So I'm very excited to be talking about this with my colleagues today. Jamel?
Yes, I'm excited as well. This is so good because, first of all, hello to everyone that's watching us live. Appreciate you joining us. And always feel free to drop a comment or any questions as we're discussing this divine material. And, don't be a stranger. We're here to help, not just to kind of sound smart or, tell great stories. We definitely want to help you with this material because we all come from a place where we were searching for help as well. So, wow, this first law is just, I asked my colleagues, was it okay to revisit a few things? Because the law of divine oneness, the law of divine oneness, listen to that. The law of divine oneness. I get excited when I just say that. So what does that really mean, right? And this is like a foundation, right? And all of these laws are very connected to one another. So understand that other people's experiences are intricately connected to yours. Like, really think about that. Everyone's experience is connected to yours. And it really should make you feel comfortable as well, knowing that there's a lot of people having the same challenges that you're having. They have the same feelings. It reminds me of that quote, there's nothing new under the sun. So there's various variations, right, of sadness or happiness or joy or peace. But we all experience these things. And it reminds me of the law of cause and effect as well, because it's your experience is connected to another's. So as we do Coach's Corner, guess what? You're here as well. We welcome you, and you attract it on a spiritual level as well. So you're seeking some type of guidance. You're seeking some type of growth from where you are to where you want to go. And we're a part of that. And that's how we're connected through this divine oneness. And I was really thinking about that. And another thing to mention here, by offering support, this is so good. By offering support and kindness, you contribute positively to the collective consciousness. Wow. So what do you think we're doing here? We're offering support. And obviously kindness. We're not like cursing at you and telling you what the laws are, we're actually doing the opposite, right? And we're contributing positively to divine oneness, to the collective consciousness. So really think about that, right? When you're offering support, whether it's something small, right? We're the ones that define what's small or big. That's our perception. And kindness is perception as well. You might think you're being kind, and sometimes it's received differently. And contribution, right? It's service. What are you contributing to this collective consciousness? Now, you can contribute negatively. That's easy. A lot of people do that, but it will never serve you. And it's interesting. I'm going over a Seed for Achievement lesson with one of my clients, and it talks about how the unfailing boomerang, when you throw it, it's still going to come back to you, whether it's positive or negative. And that's exactly what, that particular section reminds me about. So I'll stop there, just a couple things to mention.
Well, I'll jump in. Thank you very much, Jamel, for that segue. And so we were talking about the law of divine oneness, and now we're shifting into the law of vibration. And so the law of divine oneness taught us that everything is connected. So I suppose the next question would be then, how is everything connected? And the answer is through vibration. And so the law of vibration states that everything in existence is in constant motion, right? So nothing is truly standing still. Every thought, every emotion, every belief carries a frequency. And because we're connected to everything, the vibration that we hold internally influences what we experience externally. And that means that your results aren't random. They're in harmony with a vibration that you are constantly embodying. So your thoughts create feelings, and your feelings create a state of being. And that state of being creates your point of attraction. And if you think back also, if you've been following us, we talked previously about Neville Goddard, feeling is the secret. And it's not just about, thinking positive and writing affirmations if you don't really believe it. You have to believe, you have to be that person. You have to be in that situation. You have to assume that you're already in the state that you want, and reverse engineer, as it were. But you have to be that person. You have to feel that you're already in possession of the thing you want. You're already in possession of the person that you want to be. And so the law of oneness explains the connection, but the law of vibration is explaining the mechanism. Lou, do you want to jump in?
I like that. Yes, thank you. So as Paul mentioned, everything vibrates. And when I first heard Bob talk that the walls are moving, I thought he was so strange. It's like, what is he talking about? So he's the one who introduced me to all of this. And I didn't understand what he meant by everything vibrates, everything is energy. And it wasn't until I started to really delve into the material and study it. And so if we can think of ourselves as this powerful, powerful human antenna, and our thoughts are transmitting frequencies, they're transmitting waves of energy, and our emotions are attracting back to us what we're sending out. When you think of the word emotion, E standing for energy in motion. That's what an emotion is. It's energy in motion. So we're not just thinking thoughts, we're transmitting energy. And before anything, and I was talking to a few people about this, but before anything shows up physically, it exists vibrationally first. So when we think about something, when we imagine something, and I often hold up like a pen or your phone or whatever it could be, you look around the room, everything that you see, everything that we see in the physical world first, again, existed in the world that we don't see, in the unseen, as Jamel always mentions about the unseen. So bringing it from, how does it go from this thought or idea or this dream, this nothing thing that no one else can see except for you in your own mind, your own imagination? How does this idea that no one else can see come from you, your mind, into physical form, whether it's a business, whether it's a family, whether it's a relationship, whether it's your health, whether it's that new car, your home? How does it go from this into physical form? And this is what we're talking about. It's being on that frequency of the thing that you desire. And this is what the law of vibration is about. And I just want to give you a quick example. Let's say, and we've all been there, most likely, you're going to a networking event. Now, in the beginning, I wasn't too crazy about going to networking events because I was not in that environment. So I had to learn how to network. I needed to learn how to express myself, how to go up and shake somebody's hand, introduce myself. But think about two people. One person A goes in and says, no one's going to really care who I am or what I do. And then person B says, oh, I'm super excited. I can't wait to see who I meet. Now, it's the same environment. It's the same networking event, but you could probably already gather the results that will come out of that event, the conversations or the lack of conversations that will take place. And this is all about how you see yourself and how you're showing up vibrationally, because we all can feel when someone is feeling a little angry, a little off. We all pick up on that vibration, or if they're in a great mood or they're very charismatic, you feel that even before they open their mouth most of the times. So we are energy beings actually picking up the energy of another person. And this can dictate how the conversation can go from that point. If you're speaking, if you feel like somebody's maybe angry or they're shy or they're holding back, your energy picks up on that. And then you express yourself coordinating with their energy. So if you're talking to someone who's very shy, you don't come across like, hey, how you doing? Because it's two different energies. You tone yourself down to get and introduce yourself on a more quieter level if they're like a shy person, for example. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Yes,
Heck
it
yeah.
makes perfect sense. It makes amazing sense. I love it. I love it. I love it. As you're speaking there, Lou, you spark a lot, of thoughts. And that's a key word, thoughts, right? And what Lou is sharing here, basically, we're a three-part being. We're spiritual, we have an intellect, and we live in a physical body. And, you have to think upside down. So there's spirit, right? And there's thoughts, and then there's the physical. So what's connected to the law of vibration, everything vibrates, nothing rests. Everything is in a constant ebb and flow. We're in an ocean of motion. So your thoughts are creating motion. And we covered a lot of profound teachers, Wallace Wattles, Neville Goddard. Wallace Wattles, he calls it the thinking stuff or the thinking substance, right? So that permeates and penetrates, etc. So, and that thinking stuff can think with you. So your thoughts are sending off a vibration, and that's everything, right? Mm-hmm. So notice you pick up Lou's vibration when she's sharing this, and you pick up off of Paul's vibration as well, and mine as well. So you feel it. You might not, be there intellectually, but you feel what we're saying because that's a vibrational state, right? And everything's created twice. Look at all the beautiful things in this world. Like I marvel at architecture. I was looking at these airplanes when I was traveling. I was looking at everything with a different open mind. And you realize all these things came from nothing, so-called nothing, right? Even the unseen is even more than the seen, actually, when you really think about it. So these ideas and visions came from something you can't see. And your whole life is shaped off of things that you can't see. It's your thoughts. And your feelings are basically, they follow what you're thinking. And vibration is essential. And what good vibe, notice I just jumped out. Are you sending a good vibe out, right? Or are you sending a bad vibe out, or just a neutral vibe out, right? This is so important to be aware. And speaking of awareness, this is really good. Basically, you want to cultivate, right, a state of mindfulness. It entails a profound awareness of the present moment. So the present moment allows you to be aware, right? And a recognition of the undeniable impact of our thoughts and actions on our lives and the intricate web of existence. So I know that's a bit deep there, but you want to recognize the impact of your thoughts. And if you're not aware of what you're thinking in that moment, you're actually the plaything for outside forces. So it's tossing you about and you're thinking this one thing and thinking that thing, and you're not really focused on where you're going. And this is why mentorship is key. I wouldn't be here if I didn't seek guidance. And God knows where my life would be without this, you know. My life is totally different.
Mm.
I know a lot of people that need this. So be mindful, right? Is to understand the power of the choices we make. So to be mindful is to understand. So we made a choice, many choices in our lives. Every choice you make will dictate your future, even your own thinking. Isn't that crazy? Your own thinking. And crazy. It's funny. It's actually profound. So if you're constantly thinking negatively about doubting and worrying every day, like majority of people do, you're just going to get more things to doubt and worry about. And you're sending off a vibration that matches those results, as we're talking about vibration. And guess what? Vibration is related to what you attract, like a magnet. And it's so funny that I say magnet, because magnetism is displayed. It's not created. So you have a piece of metal, the electrons are all there to make it magnetic, but they have to align in the same direction in order to be magnetic. So if they're pointing in different directions, it's just a piece of metal. But if all the electrons are pointing in the same way, it's magnetic. So it actually sends off specific vibration to attract. It's magnetism. So that's on a scientific level on what that is. But we all have this gift, and it's working whether you're conscious of it or unconscious of it. Is that a mic drop?
That's a mic drop. That's a clap.
Oh, wait. Here.
Paul, you're muted, just so you'll know. You're still muted. Okay, well, I'll hop in while Paul, oh, okay. So I wanted to, so I love that you brought up the magnet, Jamil, because it made me think like everything, all the electrons have to be in order, right? They have to be aligned in order for that magnet to magnetize. And it brings me to order is heaven's first law. So when we have our thoughts, our feelings, our behavior, and our results, typically, hey, Patricia, typically we're focused on the results and our behavior. And we're trying to change the results and the behavior, but that is downstream. Upstream is where the thoughts are, where your emotions are. And this all operates by law. That's why everyone has the ability to think and feel, right? So again, emotions are energy in motion, but understand the purpose of them. Think about it. They are a guidance system, because we have, if we quoted before, over 60,000 thoughts a day. You can't possibly keep track of your thoughts. Sometimes I can't even remember what I was just thinking like a couple of minutes ago, because we have so many thoughts. So how do we keep track? By the way we feel. And we have a dominant vibration. It's more of our natural, it's the way we see things, the way we show up. Some days are good days, some days not so good, but we have a natural vibrational pattern. And depending on where that natural vibrational pattern is, that's what we tend to attract, the opportunities, the resources, and the people. So when we learn that everything vibrates, everything is energy, but they're on different frequencies. So a rock, for an example, still vibrates, but it vibrates at a very low frequency. The human being is a very high vibrational being of energy. And we use the example of like a radio station for an example. So let's say 94.5, I don't know, it's a talk show and all they do is complain. I use this example quite a bit. They complain, they talk about politics, the economy, and it's a lot of victim conversation. So if I'm on that frequency, if that's the way I typically speak all day, I'm going to tune in to that station because I can identify what they're talking about. But let's just say at the other end of the dial at Awesome FM, they only talk about big dreams and what's possible and the potential that people have. But if I don't think like that, if that's not my normal state, I'm not going to tune into them because I'm going to think that they're crazy. Oh, they all wear, rose-colored sunglasses, puppies and unicorns. So I'm not going to tune into that frequency. I'm going to stay at the bottom of the station and listen to them whining and complaining because that's what I identify. Excuse me. That's what I identify with. So this is a great way, I always use the middle of the radio station that has highs and lows, and that's where most people are. They have good days and not so good days, but we get to choose which station we want to tune into, and that's where that's empowering. So even though maybe you've always listened to crap FM, for an example, but you just said, you know what? I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of feeling like a victim. I'm sick and tired of feeling disempowered. I've been learning about the universal laws. I've been tuning into Coach's Corner, and I believe that I was created to succeed and not fail. So maybe I'm going to tune in to Awesome FM and start listening to what they have to say. And then if you stay on that frequency, even though it may not be natural right now, but eventually keep listening to it, keep listening to it, keep listening to it, you will start to change the way you think, the way you feel, the way you behave, and you will notice your reality starts to also shift. And this is the power of the law of vibration in tuning your frequency into a higher frequency of the life that you desire. Paul.
Wow. So much.
Oh, I know. Too much, maybe.
No, it's not too much. There's so much there, right? There's so much good quality stuff there. That's why I'm saying wow, not because of how you said it, but of what you said. That's a very powerful thing, and it's that awareness that we develop, right? You have to be really aware of your thinking, aware of what your emotions are, because Neville, again, going back to Neville, feeling is the secret, and the stronger your emotions are, the more intense your thoughts are. That's how you're going to attract the things that whether you want them or not, but the more intense feelings, those are the things that you attract. And I'm glad that Jamel brought up the thing about the magnet. And I wrote down some quick notes here, but if you think about a magnet isn't trying to attract anything. It does. It just does attract stuff. And so do people, right? And you're always in the process of attracting something into your life. And it's based, and the stronger, again, going back to like what Neville said, the stronger and the more intense your thoughts and emotions are, then the greater that magnetic pull becomes. So I just love that Jamel brought up that thing about the magnet, because that's what we're doing. We're doing it all the time. Like gravity is always there. We're always attracting something into our life. And so what I was going to say was that transformation then doesn't begin with just action. It begins with your frequency, and that corresponds to your identity and with who you are being. So you don't attract what you want, you attract who you are. Mm-hmm. So when you elevate your internal state, then your external reality, the things outside, as Lou said, it has to respond, and not by force, just by law. The law of oneness, again, teaches that everything is connected. How is it connected? When you think of the internet, you can't see it, but we're all connected. It's all connected. So the law of vibration explains, and it tells us that everything is in constant motion. Nothing rests. And that carries a frequency. So our thoughts, our emotions, our identity, they all create a vibration. And because we're connected to everything, then life responds to that vibration. So that is why lasting change doesn't begin with what we do. It actually begins with who we are or who we become. Jamel.
This is really good. It brings some thoughts here, because here we go. Thoughts are invisible, right? Feelings are invisible.
Mhm.
Beliefs are invisible. Really pay attention to that. And those invisible aspects of our being create the visible. So why not emphasize the importance of what you can't really touch or smell or hear with your 5 senses? And this, really connects with your intellectual faculties, how important they are. You want to harness the power of positive intentions. And what does that mean? Think as many good thoughts as you can. You really have to. Because what that does, it changes your vibration, for one. Thinking is so important, and we take it for granted. You want to, for one, have a goal. Most people are frustrated because they don't know where they're going in life. They're just running around, just getting by. They don't have a clear direction. And this is where frustration sets in. And actually, we become very comfortable with that discomfort. This is just it. This is my life. I hope it gets better. I'm going to watch some more motivated videos and just get that dose, and then it just goes right back. This is vibration. Or to connect it with vibration, imagine, right, that you're focused on what you're creating in your life. Every day, every conscious waking moment, I know what I'm creating. Imagine you know where you're going. And actually, it's already here. That's a different thinking process. And it's also choosing faith. But you got to also connect with purpose and a vision. So that's harnessing the power of positive intentions. And vibration is just conscious awareness of the vibration your body's in. Our body is a mass of molecules moving at a fast, extremely fast movement. We appear to be solid. And you can go deep down the rabbit hole, like with chakras and the lights we put off with Kirlian photography. But when you think good thoughts, you're emanating a different energy. And vibration is everything. And as you're sending off these signals, the outside wants to give you that frequency to maintain it. And, understanding this and being aware of it, right? And working with amazing individuals such as ourselves, you're able to stay on that vibration. Right? So it says your thoughts and intentions shape your reality and influence the cosmic tapestry. Wow. Your thoughts and intentions shape reality. So what intentions do you set for yourself every day? For your business, for your life, for your family? Your thoughts create everything around you. And that's a foundation of vibration for human beings. You think negative things. Oh, I got to do this, or I'm scared. This is not working the way I want. I don't think unworthiness. That's a tough one, right? A lot of people think they're unworthy. All these negative things, you're reinforcing these false beliefs, and your vibration will be low. And as your vibration is low, the outside has to give you what you're demanding, consciously or unconsciously.
Mm.
And I shared on a live stream, shout out to Lori if you're watching, that we need a conscious interrupt. This is a conscious interruption from whatever it is that has been holding you back. We go to social media. It's easy to get lost in that. I got lost the other day. I was like, look at all this nonsense. Right? That's just mental activity. And it's actually pulling you in different places. And, but this is the interrupt that you needed on your feed. Because if you want more in your life, a better whatever, do more, be more, have more, understanding these laws that you're a part of is essential.
Awesome. I'm so glad Paul brought up the word awareness, and Jamel, you just brought up interruption. I'm doing a talk this week, and at the end of the day, it really is about awareness, because awareness interrupts the loop, that constant loop. We think the same thoughts day in and day out. We think there's some new thoughts woven in there, but mostly they're the same thoughts. But awareness, and this is what we're here to do, is to help expand your awareness of what is possible for you. We've all heard, because consciousness is really the only reality. And everything that we're experiencing, our consciousness is outpictured. So here we go. Dun, 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 right? If you're familiar with the stick person, I want you to think there's 8 billion of these walking the earth. 8 billion.
That's it.
They're really all the same. They operate all the same. They just have different flesh suits on. But underneath, the mechanics of thoughts, emotions, behavior, and results is all the same process. But we tend to think of ourselves as isolated individuals. No one understands me. I've got this kind of a problem, or I can't seem to do this. We are all the same underneath. We all operate the same way. So when I look at the stick person, this is such a great reminder. We all operate the same way. We behave differently. We think differently. We all have different results, but yet it's the same process that it goes through to get to our results. We just all have different flesh suits on. So because of that, we think we're, isolated individuals. So we've all heard of be, do, have. And I've always said it's the be is first, right? You got to be. But when you think about it, I was thinking about it, maybe it's the have. You have to think of the have first, perhaps. Meaning, what is it that I would love to have? What is it that I would love to experience? What is it that I would love to contribute? What is it that I'm really good at? What is it that I enjoy doing, right? What is it the relationship? Is it good health? Is it a new car? Is it a home? Whatever it is it my own business? What would I love to have? So now that you know what you would love to have, who would that person be that has that thing? And then you focus on the being of that person, and then the doing. When you start to really believe you are that person that lives a certain way, it doesn't happen like that. But when you focus, when you pay attention, when you're using your attention, right? Pay attention, your currency, your vibration, your energy, right? So paying attention, you are using your currency, your energy. By being that person, stepping into that frequency, stepping into those shoes of being that person that has X, Y, and Z, the doing will start to come naturally. It's not forced. So you're not swimming upstream, you are going downstream, but you're going to start with thinking, how does that person show up? What kind of environment are they in? When they wake up in the morning, what is the first thing that they do? When they go through their day, what are they thinking? How are they behaving? When they go to bed at night, what are their last thoughts? So you start living. So it's not just the doing, but you start living from that energy, from that vibration. And then you will start to notice the synchronicities of the people that you start to meet, that introduce you to other people. The opportunities start to show up and you're like, wow, this is really weird. When I decided, not only do I love mentoring and coaching, I love speaking. I want to be on stage. So I took classes, and I started seeing myself, as I even have a little picture here on my laptop, which is my vision board, of me on stage with the podium in front of a large audience. The more I visualize that, the more opportunities. I didn't go searching for them. They started coming to me, right, Paul? Like we have these talks. I said, Paul, I just got another move. But I could see myself on stage presenting. I see myself changing lives. I feel it. I feel it with my whole being. So I am sending out, my antenna is sending out that energy, those frequencies. That's what I have to do. That's my job. I don't know where those frequencies are going to land. I don't know who they're going to or where they're going to. My job is to send them out, but to make it feel natural, not forced. That's why when you look at what you're really good at and you love to do, that's where your confidence lies, because it feels more natural. So when we ask people, what do you want? A lot of times we get, the blank stare. I don't know what I want. Well, what do you love doing and are actually really good at? Because then you will find where your confidence lies. You will find that you feel more self-led when you're doing that thing. And then that vibration, once you allow that and accept it, your frequency changes, because you're not going up the river, you're starting to go down the river, what you were meant to do, why you were here, why you came to this physical form from spirit. But many of us try to connect with something because the pay is good, or my family business, right? So we try to force ourselves into something, but our spirit is yearning, our soul is yearning for something else. And that something else are the things that you really shine at. And that's when your vibration feels effortless. What it is that you want to do feels more effortless. I'm not saying it's easy peasy, but it's not as difficult as what you may be doing now that takes force. I'm going to make it happen. That can happen, but typically there's burnout from that. Right? Paul?
Wow, that's so great, Lou. There's so much there, and it's so true. Like force negates, right? Force negates. So it's not about trying harder, like Lou said. It's not about trying harder, but maybe thinking differently, doing things a little bit differently. If you think about, it was good when Lou was talking there about being the person that you want to be. Like, act, how would that person act? How would that person feel? How would you feel if you had the things that you wanted? If you were the person that you were, if you had that house, if you had that job, how would you feel? And start being that person, enter into that state. And we've talked about that with Neville. But if you think about young kids playing, they could be playing, okay, you're a doctor, you're an astronaut, you're a lawyer, and immediately they get into that role, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a little kid, Jamel's daughter could be playing a lawyer, and she might put like a real serious look on her face. She might start like raising her voice because that's what she's seen. That's what she thinks lawyers do. But the kids will just act. They will be that person. So kids are such a good example. They just get into that role, right? They just play right into that role. So that was such a good point. And I'm going to go back and backtrack a little bit and talk about, because I said, okay, so, the law of oneness says we're all connected. Law of vibration, tells us about the mechanism. Well, as Lou said, like, we're all energy, and we're all made up of the same stuff as the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything you see in nature. We're all made up of the same stuff. So you are, I am, we're a walking, talking bundle of intelligent energy, and we're in the form of your body. We're made up of cells, which are made up of atoms, which are made up of subatomic particles. And what are subatomic particles? They're energy, right? So everything is energy. All matter is energy, and energy cannot be created or destroyed. It is the cause and effect of itself. So it's evenly present in all places at all times, and it's in constant motion. It never rests. So it's always moving from one form to another form. So energy follows thought. And again, I love that Jamel brought up the example of a magnet. So, you are a living magnet. You would literally attract the people, the things, the ideas, the circumstances to you that vibrate and resonate at the same frequency as yours. So your energy field changes. It's constantly changing. And that's based on your thoughts and your feelings. And as Jamel said, the universe acts like a boomerang or a mirror. It sends back a reflection of the energy that you are projecting, that you're sending out. And the stronger and the more intense your thoughts and emotions are, then the greater that magnet pull becomes. And it's not a process, like Lou said, that requires real effort, really. A magnet doesn't try to attract anything. It just does. And so do you. You're always in the process of attracting something into your life. So thoughts are things, and your thoughts, they're not just wispy clouds drifting through your head. They are things, and they are actually measurable. They're measurable units of energy. And so they are electrical impulses, right? They're biochemical electrical impulses. And they are waves of energy that, as far as we can tell, they penetrate all time and all space. Jim?
Wow. I have to get a round of applause for that. For both of you. Because there's so many mic drops. See what happens when we have 2 weeks off? Jeez. Off, right? Even when we're off, we're on. And that's, how these laws operate. Your vibration, it never turns off. And wow, you said so much there. Thinking, right? I remember Bob saying, oh, there they go with that thinking stuff. That thinking stuff is very important. Like Paul just shared, it goes through, it connects with all time and space. It makes the laser beam that can shoot clear in the space or the satellite or whatever seem small. And think about all the advances in aerospace to begin with, right? The satellite landing on the moon, the whatever happened with, the SpaceX thing and the Amazon thing, all that, right? And landing back. These advances all started with thoughts. I mean, look at Amazon. What are we on? Like streaming across the internet that you couldn't see. You're surrounded by these thoughts. So I remember a quote. It said, look around and there you will see me, or there I am.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's infinite intelligence, God, spirit, right? That's the oneness that you're a part of. And we don't have these, just us. You do as well. And, each of us talk a lot about our thoughts. Our thoughts create our vibration. So, what I do with my clients as well, and people, that are open to it, I visualize. I do group visualizations. And I know a lot of people do visualization on their own as well. So you want to visualize the outcomes you desire and align your actions with these intentions. So when you visualize, you're sending, you're actually collapsing time. I can get really deep about how time is an illusion, but when you visualize, you're bringing your future to your present, or it's already happened. It depends on your awareness and how you can visualize. So when you visualize, you're tapping into, a greatness. You're tapping into actually your higher self, and you're seeing an image, you're feeling an image, and you're actually creating movement on your mind's eye, mind, body. I can get really deep about that. But you want to visualize the outcome you want. How many people use their imagination ineffectively? They imagine things they don't want over and over and over. And they're allowing their current circumstances and conditions to dictate what goes into their mind. So their senses you become subservient to them, a slave to them. But now you're getting a realization like, oh, I can reverse all of this, right? So this is why visualization and awareness and focusing on what you're thinking and what you're putting your mental energy to. My mind is the divine center. My mind is a divine center of all operation. So it creates your entire reality, all the results and money that you'll ever have, all the success that you ever have. And I remember in Science of Getting Rich, Wallace he says, focusing on what you can't see is laborious. And I laugh at that because it should be a labor of love, because now you're reversing how you've been thinking and how you just kind of fell into this mental conditioning of you not being aware of where you're putting all your energy, your gifts. And there's something I wanted to clarify. We're talking about the law of vibration, obviously, and the law of attraction. A big misconception. The law of vibration is a primary law. The law of vibration is a primary law. So I had to say it twice so everyone can hear that.
What did you say?
The law of vibration is a primary law. It comes first. Attraction is secondary, right? So what vibration are you in now?
Yeah.
Right now. So that's key. And you want to sustain that high vibration. The more frequently you're in that vibration, you're that walking magnet, like we've been saying. And it wants to hold on to you. It wants to hug you. Don't let me go, Jamel. Don't let me go, Lou. I love you. Don't let me go, Paul. It's a big hug, and it won't let you go when you're at that vibration. And you're actually impressing your subconscious mind when you tap into that as well. When you're constantly, we have different processes that we help people with to stay in that vibration, but doing it alone is challenging. It really is. And it delays, if ever, any type of progress that you'll have on your own. So that was a big one that resonated. I was like, oh, you need to know what is primary and what's secondary, right? Because a lot of people just think, oh, if I just think good and I can just attract a bunch of great things in my life, yay. But no, vibration is everything.
Awesome. Thank you, Jamel. That was so good.
Well,
And this isn't just about forcing positivity. It's about becoming aware of your baseline. When I talk to people, many times they'll tell me what they want, and then here comes the but. And then they start arguing like a prosecuting attorney against themselves. They have so many reasons to defend why they cannot do something. I find it amazing. And what's funny too is I used to be that person. So this is why mentorship or coaching is so important, because it's the same mind that causes all your problems, if you will, and we're trying to use that same mind to change them. So we come up with our own objections and our own assumptions why something can or cannot work. But I just wanted to once again bring this in before we wrap up here. 8 billion people, plus or minus, the thinking stuff, universal intelligence is, as Paul said, everywhere, cannot be created nor destroyed. It moves through form and into form. I want you to think of each and every one of us that has a cord and a plug, and we are plugged into an outlet. The outlet is universal intelligence, just like electricity. However you choose to use that power, this is what you will create. It doesn't matter to the power. The power is just the power. And that power flows to and through you, gives you the ability to think, that universal intelligence, that thinking stuff that is everywhere. It's in you, it's around you, it's everywhere. And we are all plugged into it. But how we use it, just like electricity, you can cook a meal or you can cook a person. It doesn't matter the electricity, because that power has given you the ability of choice and decision of how you're going to use it. But through our conditioning, again, we were created, we were designed to succeed and win, but we were conditioned to fail and struggle most. But that has nothing to do with the power. The power is there for you we're all plugged into it. We're all tapped into it. That's the beauty of this stick person, right? We all love this stick person. Because you can understand, if I'm plugged in, just like a refrigerator, right? Plugged in. The electricity doesn't care if it's a refrigerator, a toaster oven, whatever, right? A nuclear weapon. It doesn't matter to the power. It's how you use it. But this is all by everything in the universe operates by law. And when you can grasp that understanding and be aware that everything you do will have some sort of an effect, some sort of an outcome, but we are the cause. So we just want you to be aware. So when you start thinking about something or start to do something or you're feeling something, you have that moment, you have that ability to just pause. Just pause before you act. Just pause and think about, what are you thinking? What are you feeling? Does it feel good? Does it feel right? Should I go? We all have that ability, but most of us, boom, just do it, because we're conditioned to react. So again, everything in the universe operates by law. We are operating within those laws, and that's why we're here, to raise your awareness that you have the power. You have been gifted the power. Paul?
Thank you, Lou. Wow. So there's a few things there. I'm going to go backtrack to something that Jamel brought up. And he said that, the law of attraction is a secondary law. And, the law of attraction became a real big buzzword. And people go, yeah, I heard the law of attraction. Yeah, I know law of attraction. I know you think about, you attract, and all that sort of thing. And, but again, it's not necessarily what you want. That's not what you get. It's who you are. So, Bob was considered one of the leading teachers in the law of attraction, highly regarded as that. And he was the star of the movie, The Secret. He's in the book, The Secret. And he was the one that first said, I started hearing about the law of attraction. He said, the law of attraction is a secondary law, as Jamel brought up. The law of vibration is the primary law. So the law of attraction states that like attracts like, and you attract into your life the people, the opportunities, circumstances, the results that are in harmony with your dominant vibration. So it's not based on what you want. It's based on what you are. So your consistent thoughts, your emotions, what are you emotionally involved with? And your identity creates a vibrational state. And that vibrational state, and then will respond by bringing into your experiences that which matches that state. So, it is about being that vibration. It's about being the person that you want to be, matching the state, and get emotionally involved with that. It's that consistent action, or that consistent thinking of and feeling, and get emotionally involved with what it is that you try to want, what you really want, or what you want to be, and that's the vibration you'll be in. That's the vibration, and then you'll start to attract what you want. So you have to operate from the feeling of being, feeling of achieving, have that feeling already, and so that's how that works. So there isn't anywhere that thought is not. Energy is everywhere, and there's nowhere that thought is not. So it's really about helping you with that awareness, and you can stop, as Lou said, stop and pause, have that moment of pause, and just, okay, what am I thinking about right now? What am I feeling? And your feeling is going to tell you what it is you're thinking. Jamel.
Awesome. I love it. So here's 3 key points to remember. We are one. Understand that we are all interconnected, right? On a profound level. And your thoughts, actions, and intentions have far-reaching consequences, not just for yourself, but for the entire universe, right? Embracing this recognition is the first step towards a more harmonious existence. So our choices not only impact us, but others as well. And our thinking actually dictates our choices as well. And there was something that kept speaking to me as we wrap up here. I've been drinking out of this Star Wars mug, and I think I've done this before. But I look at it, right? For my Star Wars fans, that's Luke Skywalker. the guy that pretty much saved everybody, right? And on this other side is Darth Vader. All right, look at him. All right, so let this mug kind of represent your awareness. Are you thinking positive thoughts? All right, he's kind of fighting off negative thoughts, isn't he? Or are you thinking negatively and doubt and worry right now in this moment? And that one little thing there, it's so simple, but we tend to forget as we go on with our day and our life and whatnot. So if you felt anything we shared here today and something really spoke to you and you desire more in your life, a better life, or a change, a positive shift in your life, or you want to learn more about these universal laws and how to apply them, our call links are in the description or the comments. Reach out to us. Just message us. Set up a free complimentary call so that way we can help you with this material. Because it's easy to get motivated. It's temporary. It's easy to get inspired. It's temporary. But when you make a committed decision towards your higher self, that's when real change happens. Real growth happens for you. And I was actually thinking, does anybody have any announcements of what what's going on in your world this month? Any things going on? You want to share? Anybody?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Paul.
Oh, thank you, Lou. Yes. So I have a masterclass series. It's called Imagine Realities, the Inner Game series. And the first class is March 27th at the World Life Education Center. And the first class is going to be the art of goal creation.
Wow, that sounds amazing. Thanks, Paul. It really does.
I'm going to be speaking at the Society of Human Resource Management. The topic will be why we know better, but still operate the same way. And then later this month, I'll be a speaker for Chicks in Charge. So there'll be 4 women speakers. This is really for Women's International Day, but they're doing it at a later date. I believe is today Women's International Day or yesterday. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'm excited about those 2 events. But those are both in-person, events.
I love it. I love it. And as my colleagues probably already know, I have a 5-day challenge coming up, a live challenge, how to stop living by default and start living by design. And I smile because that's basically what we're talking about. That's on March 16th through the 20th. So drop the word challenge in the comments if you want access to that. So I'm really excited for everyone here, serving and helping people understand this and just live better lives. So are we good till next Sunday?
Oh, good.
Yeah, good.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us live here on Coach's Corner and watching the replay. Don't be afraid of us. Just reach out to us for, any further help that you may need. So see you next Sunday.
Have a beautiful day. Thank you.